I'm Harrison Graham. We got another Bears Now mailbag coming at you here. The Lego Empire. What do you think about Keenan if he isn't signed by Monday? Could the Bears try to bring him in for $6 to $7 million? I think it's over, man. I really do. Don't think he's coming back. Um, I'm not saying any of the guys they've signed are better than him. I just don't think. I think they want to add more speed to the depth wide receiver spots, wide receiver 3 and beyond. Zacchaeus, sub 4.5 guy. Duvernay, sub 4.4. You've got Tyler Scott and his speed on the roster. I think the next receiver addition, whether it's draft or free agency, will probably be a backup outside type of receiver, a big body guy that they could bring in. I'm not saying like Equinemius St. Brown, but someone like that, someone who's big, who can block, who can play Rome Odunze's position as a backup. Both Zacchaeus and Duvernay are slot guys. Keenan's a slot guy. I don't think that makes sense. I think he goes elsewhere. He would play a lesser role here this year too. I just think it's done. FR 1908, would you trade number 10 and 41 for pick 4 and draft Carter if available? Probably. If that's all it costed, 10 and 41 to go get Abdul Carter, I'd probably do it because you get Carter at 4. You would still have 39 and 72. Maybe you trade back from 39 if you can, pick up an additional third or fourth. And then between that second and third round pick, you take a running back and, a safety, an O-lineman, whatever the case may be. So if you could pull that off, I would certainly do it. I think it's going to cost more to get a player of his caliber because most people would say he's the best player in the draft, him or Travis Hunter. But if it was truly just 10 and 41 to get 4 and draft Abdul Carter, I would probably be doing that. Name a player that the Bears should trade for, whether it's in the draft, whether it's just for another veteran player. Drop his name down in the comment section below and give us your thoughts on that trade proposal from that last question as well. Would you trade 10 and 41 for the 4th pick for Abdul Carter? Because I probably would. Dark Cobra, expectations for Rome this season. I expect a 1,000-yard season. He had over 700 yards last year, and that was as a third option as a rookie in a passing offense that was pretty fractured from a Shane Waldron design and play calling perspective. So if he can put up 700 plus in that situation as the third fiddle, I don't see why you can't find 300 more yards. I wouldn't be shocked if it was like 1,200, to be honest. I think he's going to have a good year. I would guess between 1,000 and 1,100 yards. I'm not asking for something crazy, but 20 more percent in production, that gets you to almost 1,000 yards. 6 to 8 touchdowns, something like that. 60, 70 catches. I think he's going to have a good year. Colbers, Bears could see the team going after Dononvan Ezeiruaku and or Ozzy Trapilo on day 2. Both Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson have ties to Boston College. Trapilo's an interesting one. He was exclusively a right tackle in college. I'd be interested in him if they felt like he could play some left tackle, even if he's more of a right. But that ability to play both sides as an early part of his career as a swing tackle would be important. But I do like him on day 3, probably more round 3 than round 2 on the second day. Ezeiruaku is rising up boards. Now, he kind of projects more as a 3-4 edge, so I don't know if the Dennis Allen prototype would be an issue there, but he's one of the better pure pass rushers in the draft. Really productive last year for BC. Go check out PrizePicks if you want to get in on all of the action happening on the hardwood right now. Basketball court is heating up, and the best daily fantasy sports app has you covered if you want to get in on all of the action. All sports are available. All you got to do to sign up is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you sign up and play for just $5. Just a $5 lineup to get started and get a $50 bonus. You pick 2 or more players on 2 or more different teams. Can't be 2 players on the same team with no other players. That does not qualify. But 2 or more players on 2 or more different teams. And pick more or less on the stat projections available, points, rebounds, assists, goals in hockey and soccer, and plenty of other stats, baseball stats with baseball just around the corner. Example of a 2-player lineup I had in the NCAA tournament as Caleb Love. I like him to hit more than 19.5 points, and then Nate Biddle to grab 10 rebounds and dish out those assists as well. 10 rebounds plus assists combined. Get 11 or more, I'll be good there. 10 to win 30 there. As a two-player lineup, a standard one, you win 3 extra money, but you can get up to 1,000 times your money on certain lineups. $10 can turn into 10,000. All you got to do is check it out at PrizePicks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Code CLNS for new-time customers. Going to get you a $50 bonus when you sign up and play for just $5. Soldier Bear 85, how confident are you in Poles drafting heading into this draft with all of the changes? I mean, I think it's going to be a collaborative effort. I think Ben Johnson, he's already shown that he's got a lot to say. You've got a Dennis Allen who's seen a lot, knows what type of player he wants. Ian Cunningham is a good balance for Ryan Poles. So I feel fine about it. Obviously, we'll see who they pick and how they play over time. There's always hits, always misses. You hope there's more hits than misses. Jess Layseth, Will Campbell or Ashton Jeanty? I think at this point it's Jeanty for me. With how much they've invested in the interior, I'm just uncertain if Campbell can play tackle, especially on the left side with his lack of arm length and his smaller wingspan. That combination's tough, especially if you look at what Poles has done historically. I think I would go Jeanty over Campbell right now. Subscribe to Bears Now if you want more off-season coverage, other free agency moves, draft coming up, mock draft videos, latest news and rumors, trade buzz. We'll cover it all here on Chicago Bears Now. Hit that subscribe button and join us every single day. All right, Dennis, I know stats are overvalued, but what do you think Caleb's yards and TD interception ratio could be? It could look like with his first year with Ben. So he had 35-41 passing last year, 20 touchdowns, 6 picks. How's this for a simple take? All 3 categories will be higher. Passing yards will go up, passing touchdowns will go up, so will interceptions. Ben Johnson in his opening presser said, look, turnover ratio is not the number one factor in terms of winning correlation. So what does that tell you? He's going to encourage aggressiveness. And that could lead to more interceptions, but if it leads to, if he throws 10 more touchdowns and 5 more picks, that's a win. So you got to find the end zone. You got to generate more explosive plays. That's really the main thing. The biggest indicator of winning is explosives. Like, obviously, you can't lose the turnover battle every week. It's still an important stat. Like we saw Detroit in the playoffs. They had 5 turnovers against Washington. That's why they lost, largely. But they probably win that game with 3, right? Like, they still scored 35 points. So, you can afford a turnover or 2 if you are one of the more explosive offenses in football. Now, do I expect Detroit-level explosiveness in year 1? Probably not. But can you get 75% of that next year? Can Caleb throw for 25 to 28 touchdowns, even if his interceptions come up to 12 or 13? I'd much rather see 26 touchdowns, 13 picks than what we saw last year, which was clearly just being coached to be conservative and not turn the ball over. So, I think he'll throw for more yards, he'll throw for more touchdowns, and he'll throw more picks. Daniel Atkins, any defensive backs starting to stand out as potential Bears draft targets? This safety group's starting to grow on me, man. Imanwari, I think, is a special talent with his athletic traits and his ball skills and his speed at that size at, 6'2", 6'3", 220 pounds. Xavier Watts, I think, is a stud on the second day, ball hawk. Cullen's guy, Makuba, seems to be gaining some traction. I still like Malachi Starks. Not the best athlete, but maybe he dips a bit, and that helps out the Bears if they want to target him. So I think there's 4 or 5 safeties in this draft that are pretty good. You don't really need a corner in this draft. Maybe they take one on day 3 for depth. But, I like the safety group, especially the first 5 or 6 guys. Who's going to win the NFC North this year? Predict it. Hopefully our Bears go from worst to first. Type CHI for the Bears, FGB for the Packers, DET for the Lions, MIN for the Vikings. I still think Detroit deserves to be the favorite, but I think it's pretty wide open this year. David Hernandez, who do you think we play week 1? It's a good question. Could Rodgers' landing spot determine that? Because both the Steelers and the Giants play the Bears this year, so that'll be interesting. I still think a rematch or a Detroit matchup in Detroit could make sense. Bears are going to have some hype. Everyone's curious about the Lions. Ben Johnson returned to Detroit. That seems like a strong option. Schefter threw out a month or 2 ago that he wouldn't be shocked if the Eagles opener to kick off the season on that Thursday night was against the Bears in Philly. So that would be interesting. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was a higher profile game. I don't think we're getting the Bears-Titans noon matchup that we got last year. Pepe 230, has Matt Pryor signed anywhere? Not as of filming this on Friday. A little surprised. Like Lucas Patrick just signed with the Bengals. I'd rather have Matt Pryor than Lucas Patrick. I guess the one thing about Lucas is he can play center and guard, but Pryor can play guard and tackle. I'm hoping the longer time goes down, maybe not for Pryor's sake, but for the Bears' sake, that maybe he's pretty cheap and you can get him back for like $2-3 million. I mean, that'd be a huge win for the Bears. I think he'd be an excellent backup here. All right, appreciate all the questions. If you have more, fire in those DMs at HGramNFL, both on Twitter and on Instagram. That's where you can find me at HGramNFL on social media. Always down to talk ball with the real ones.